This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men at a Video Music Awards after party in 2000. In a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. He said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one."
If you think about everything he said, and you're able to dissect and go back and listen to all the things he said that were going to happen in the year, you notice everything did happen. I don't know how he knew. I don't know who he talks to, or who. I mean, what inside information he might have. But everything he said, it came true. Everything he said came true. So there's some truth to everything that he knows, and the fact that he's saying I held back a little bit, he probably has stuff on people, and he just used jabs instead of throwing that haymaker. He could have. I'm assuming it could have ended careers.
There's a possibility.
At Katt Williams, who's getting exposed next? Hashtag Katt has the answer.
Oh my God! You won't believe what's happening, darlings. Katt Williams is back in the spotlight, and this time he's got his eyes set on none other than Jay-Z. And trust me, this tea is scorching hot. Ever since the whole Diddy drama exploded, people have been pointing fingers left and right at Jay-Z, claiming he's just as scandalous as the Diddler himself. They're saying he was right there, participating in those infamous. But hold on to your seats because it gets even more shocking. Now Jay-Z's being dragged into a lawsuit alongside Diddy, and the allegations are absolutely horrifying. They're claiming he was involved in an incident with a 13-year-old who was allegedly and left vulnerable. And you know Katt Williams isn't going to stay quiet about this. Speaking of Katt, ever since that explosive Club Shay Shay interview dropped, this year has been absolutely wild. But honey, if you think 2023 was dramatic, just wait until you see what 2025 has in store for us. Now let's talk about Tony Buzbee, because this lawyer is not playing around. He's been riding the Diddy wave hard, claiming he's got over 100 credible witnesses and victims who say they were unwillingly pulled into Diddy's freakoffs. And he's not scared to name names, honey. He's been telling everyone that if the big shots try to come for him, he's got receipts. Tony's been working behind the scenes, reaching out to CBS privately, spilling all the tea about what these victims are saying. He's giving these A-listers a chance to settle quietly before he goes public with everything. And while some celebrities have been quick to write those checks to keep their names out of the headlines, it looks like Jay-Z isn't one of them. Back in November, Tony dropped a bombshell on Instagram, talking about some very powerful John Doe who's been pulling strings everywhere, trying to shut him and his victims up. Now, he didn't name names then, but chilly, the plot thickens. Right before this cryptic post, Tony's law firm had filed this absolutely shocking lawsuit. The victim's story will make your skin crawl. She was just 13 when she met Brother Love while trying to get into the MTV Music Video Awards. Some grown man approached her, saying she was the right fit for Diddy, and promised to get her into the show. Instead, they took her to Diddy's after party. What happened next is just horrifying. They made her sign an NDA and gave her a drink that allegedly had something suspicious in it. Soon, this poor girl was dizzy and stumbling around. Before she knew it, she found herself in this scary room with no furniture except for a big bed. Then Diddy came in with two other celebs, a man and a woman. The details are absolutely chilling. According to the lawsuit, Diddy threw her like a rag doll on the bed, and then he and the male celeb had their way with her while the others just watched. When Diddy tried to go for round two, this brave girl fought back. She punched him in the neck, grabbed her stuff, and ran for her life. She didn't stop until she reached a gas station where she called her daddy to tell him everything. This nightmare happened in the early 2000s, and initially, the girl was only going after Diddy. But now, honey, the truth has come out. That unnamed male celebrity, it was Jay-Z. And let me tell you, Jay-Z must have seen this coming because he clapped back fast. His response was absolutely savage. He went straight for Tony Buzbee's throat, saying, "My lawyer received a blackmail attempt called a demand letter from a lawyer named Tony Buzbee." Jay-Z was not having it. He basically said, "You thought I'd settle? Ha! Think again." Jay-Z's statement was fierce. He said, "I'm not from your world. I'm a young man who made it out of the projects of Brooklyn. We don't play these types of games." He even called Tony's supporters a network of conspiracy theorists and said the claims would be laughable if they weren't so serious. But honey, Tony Buzbee isn't backing down. He came back swinging with his own statement, and it is intense. He's talking about people harassing his kids, following his family, and trying to intimidate his employees. But he's standing firm, declaring, "I'm still that guy. I won't be bullied or intimidated."
You have said that you believe Jay-Z's worse than Diddy, and I believe
Absolutely.
that. Do you believe he's higher up, in the food chain above
Now
Diddy?
he is. Now he is. He wasn't, which is why I know he's doing everything that he can do to play both sides against the middle to make sure that Diddy goes down and he stays clean.
Do you think he's scared right now? Do you think Beyonce's scared?
Oh, absolutely. Did you know that Tony Buzbee, the lawyer that's doing all the Diddy lawsuits, just got sued
Oh yeah, I saw that.
by a prominent figure? They're trying to make everybody believe it's Kevin Hart. But the funny thing is, the lawsuit that's suing Tony Buzbee, Spiro is a partner. And Alex Spiro is Jay-Z's personal lawyer.
Oh, so it's probably Jay-Z then that's doing the suing.
Of course they'd use Kevin's name,
Well,
but it ain't Kevin. Why is Alex Spiro popping up everywhere?
And 50 Cent couldn't resist throwing shade. When Jay-Z said, "I the kid, everybody get dressed, we going to see Mufasa," 50 was living for it with that LOL. Now, when Katt Williams heard about Jay-Z finally getting his comeuppance, it was like Christmas came early. Word on the street is, Katt feels like justice is finally being served. He's warning Jay-Z to move carefully and use that same cleverness that got him from Project Brooklyn to Bel Air, because this pride Jay's showing, it's giving very much Diddy Before the Fall vibes, and we all know how that turned out.
If you sign up for their program, you get a light-skinned, weird-faced wife that never do an interview. Listen, in 20 years, won't do an interview. Nobody's ever talked to her, and she's never been interviewed anywhere. And now, understand, I'm not talking about one person. What I just told you applies to 7 people. How they all end up with that. That's part of what you get. I came in this business saying I was going to expose. When I talked about Michael Jackson, when I talked about R. Kelly, they canceled me for these things because why would you talk about another black dude? It's not where the line is drawn. It's God's side and the other side. And we don't care nothing about the other side. Period. All of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I never know one of these.
Amen.
Thoughts on this?
I think one thing that Mr. Buzbee has in his favor is the standard by which the civil courts are going to have to weigh this. It's not a criminal case. They don't have to prove this beyond a reasonable doubt. They have to prove it by the preponderance of the evidence. And this means...
And for the average viewer who doesn't know what that means, what does that mean?
It just means that you have to prove more likely than not that it happened, tipping the scale to, let's say, 51% in your favor with respect to the evidentiary standard. Now, Mr. Buzbee had a press conference a few months back, and during that press conference, he stated that the civil lawsuits that he was moving forward with were ones that were vetted by his office. He stated that he hired an investigator, that investigator gathered further corroborating evidence. And so I'm very curious to see what corroborating evidence he has that he thinks can meet that low burden of proof.
People are reading between the lines of Jay-Z's statement like it's a detective novel. They're pointing out how he never actually denied the allegations. He just spent all that time dragging Tony and dancing around the actual accusations. And get this, Jay-Z had the nerve to file a motion wanting Jane Doe to reveal her real name. Like, seriously? Everyone knows if she does that, the Bayhive and Jay's fans would make her life absolutely impossible. She'd probably need to book a one-way ticket out of the US.
There's no vindication for me because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim-making machine kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since these charges were brought against Diddy. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires everywhere, forces everyone involved to go and carry water while he sneaks away without a response. That changes now, Sean.
A lot of people allowed it to go on, said nothing, didn't intervene, maybe benefited from it, profited from it. All of these individuals and entities, in my view, have exposure.
Let's keep it real for a minute. Saying Jay-Z's hands are completely clean is like saying pigs can fly. From Foxy Brown to Aaliyah, Tira Marie, and Rihanna, Jay-Z's had some questionable relationships with teenage girls. And let's not forget Beyonce was a teenager when they got together. Plus, how are we supposed to believe that Jay-Z, who's been besties with Diddy since forever and basically came up with him, had no idea about Diddy's interests? Either he saw everything and just minded his business, or maybe, just maybe, they're cut from the same cloth.
Like everybody else, I couldn't believe that it was that extreme. So I've always known him to be turned up, but I didn't know he was that turned up. So, it wasn't a good look. It made me reevaluate. The things that he's been accused of has made me reevaluate every single second I've been in the business.
You know what they say, a hit dog will holler. And the way Jay-Z's reacting to this lawsuit, plus everything Katt's been saying, Chili, it's not looking good. As one person said, you must be a true D-rider if you don't believe Jay-Z didn't do half the mess PPL been accusing of him for years. The tea keeps getting hotter. People are bringing up how Jay-Z has pushed to fund his record company for years, sleeps with young women, and promotes hate to the black community. Some are saying he's just a glorified dealer who's gotten away with crime for a long time. This whole situation is making everyone realize we need to stop idolizing celebrities because honestly, a lot of our faves might be pure evil. And let's be real, there's no way in any universe that Jay-Z didn't know exactly what Diddy was up to. Being best friends with him all these years, the only explanation is that they're cut from the same cloth. Now Jay-Z's got 99 problems and then some. He and Diddy are going to be putting out fires like it's their new full-time job. Don't forget to drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, and hit subscribe because, honey, you do not want to miss the next chapter in this absolutely wild Diddy and Jay-Z saga.